Number 10, the gravity trap. We call Earth our cradle, but mathematically speaking, it is a crushing, eye-invisible cage. Every second of your existence, a relentless force of 9.8 meters per second squared is dragging your cellular structure toward the dirt. We think we are the masters of our own biology. We try to 3D print replacement vascular tissue and human organs to cheat our inevitable decay. But here, on the surface of this world, those delicate cellular layers collapse under their own weight. Earth's gravity instantly turns the intricate scaffolding of new life into a formless, ding puddle. Our planet is simply too heavy to support our technological evolution. If the very world that birthed us is actively crushing our final attempts to survive, are we truly at home? Or are we just trapped at the bottom of a gravity well, waiting to expire? Number 9, the molecular corruption. Humanity operates under a comforting delusion. We believe the physical laws governing our planet are eternal absolutes. They are not. They are merely temporary, local weather conditions in an indifferent universe. We assume Earth provides a stable foundation for our advancement. But the truth is, this planet is a chaotic, vibrating reactor that actively sabotages true molecular perfection. Consider our attempts to build the future of global communications Z-band fiber optics. In theory, this heavy metal fluoride glass can transmit data across thousands of miles of ocean with near-zero signal loss. But there is a catastrophic flaw. You cannot manufacture it here. When we heat and pull this glass within Earth's atmosphere, our planet's gravity induces chaotic, invisible thermal convection currents. These microscopic gravitational winds rip through the molten material, forcing the atoms into jagged, imperfect formations. Every time a photon of light hits one of these defects, it scatters. The signal weakens. The data decays. Earth's gravity doesn't just keep us chained to the dirt, it fundamentally corrupts the atomic structure of our greatest innovations. Trying to align atoms into a flawless matrix on the surface of this planet is like attempting to build a microscopic house of cards on the roof of a bullet train, driving full speed through a hurricane. It is an exercise in primal futility. Earth is not a sanctuary. It is a noisy, contaminated, heavy rock. To build the tools we need to outlast our own fragility, we have to admit that our homeworld is defective. We have to look up at the sterile, abyssal void above our heads and accept that the deafening silence of the vacuum is the only place where true perfection is allowed to exist. Number 8, the protein paradox. According to data published in Nature Microgravity and experiments conducted aboard the ISS National Lab, our fight against our own decay has hit a physical wall. Take pembrolizumab, a leading immunotherapy drug used to fight devastating cancers. To maximize its therapeutic effectiveness, the protein crystals within it must form with absolute geometric perfection. But as we've established, Earth is a heavy, vibrating cage. Down here, gravity warps the delicate crystallization process. The weight of the planet physically pulls on the molecular bonds as they try to align. The universe operates on absolute mathematical limits. The smallest possible measurable distance in existence is the Planck length, measuring exactly 1.6 times 10 to the negative 35th power meters. At this unfathomable microscopic scale, Earth's gravity introduces a chaotic drag. A structural failure at the Planck scale ripples upward, creating an incoherent, defective protein chain. Earth literally corrupts our medicine. To manufacture a pure cure for our failing cells, we had to send our laboratories into orbit. Number 7, the void's scaffold. This horrifying reliance on the vacuum doesn't stop at chemical compounds. It extends to the very flesh and blood we are made of. Look at the biofabrication facility, currently operating in low Earth orbit. The ultimate goal is to 3D print complete, functioning human organs, livers, hearts, intricate vascular networks, but try printing a 3-dimensional lattice of living cells on Earth. The moment you place one layer of soft biological tissue on top of another, the planet's gravity drags it down. The cells settle, they compress, they merge into a useless, suffocating mass. Attempting to print a functioning human vascular network on Earth is like trying to precisely stack individual drops of water into a towering skyscraper. It is a biological impossibility. To build the organs necessary to extend human life, we must outsource our biology to the void. In microgravity, cells stay exactly where they are placed. The vacuum provides an invisible, weightless scaffold. Every new layer of tissue printed in this facility is fundamentally an extraterrestrial object. It was born in the dark. We are utilizing a sterile graveyard to print the spare parts for our survival. Number 6. DNA disintegration. Let us assume we mastered the microgravity factory. We escape the crushing gravity trap of Earth to print flawless organs. But the moment we cross the boundary of our atmosphere, we step directly into the firing line of a primordial threat. It is not the vacuum that strikes first, it is the invisible, catastrophic storm of galactic cosmic rays. According to the landmark NASA twin study, published in the peer-reviewed journal Science in 2019, the void does not simply damage the human machine, it actively edits it. Prolonged exposure to the deep space environment fundamentally altered an astronaut's gene expression. It mutated the length of his telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of his chromosomes. The universe was quietly rewriting his biological code. Down on Earth, shielded by miles of atmosphere, the average human absorbs a harmless 3.5 millisieverts of background radiation per year. But the void is merciless. An acute exposure of just 5 sieverts, or 5,000 millisieverts, guarantees a 50% chance of death within 30 days. At 10 sieverts, the mortality rate is absolute. Your gastrointestinal tract simply stops regenerating. But the true horror occurs long before your organs fail. It happens at a scale so small, your nervous system cannot even perceive it. It takes a fraction of a single sievert of high-energy cosmic particle impacts to physically shear the hydrogen bonds holding your genetic code together. Imagine your DNA as an ancient, incredibly intricate book, containing the exact, fragile instructions for your continued existence. Exposing a human to the cosmic background is like leaving that ancient book open in a torrential storm of acidic rain. The fundamental instructions for cellular replication become scrambled, forming an incoherent alien language that your body can no longer read. The double helix literally unzips. The most unsettling part is the deafening silence of this process. You have no pain receptors for DNA damage. You do not feel your molecular structure crumbling. Humanity is nothing more than a localized biological glitch. When we venture into the abyss to build factories for our survival, we are trespassing in a radioactive graveyard that is actively trying to erase our genetic signature. Number 5, the kinetic cage. Look at the rockets we launch into orbit. We view them as monuments to our intellect. They are not. They are physical cages that strangle our potential. Aerospace engineers have a term for this, the tyranny of the fairing. If humanity wants to build a massive solar array, or a multi-story habitat to house our failing bodies in space, we must first figure out how to fold it into the tiny, restrictive nose cone of a launch vehicle. Why? Because the mathematics of our planet's gravity well are absolute and unforgiving. To lift a single pound of payload off the dirt, you must achieve orbital velocity roughly 17,500 miles per hour. To reach that speed, your vehicle must overcome a relentless downward acceleration of 9.8 meters per second squared while simultaneously punching through an atmospheric wall, pressing down with 1 atmosphere of pressure. That is exactly 101.325 kilopascals. Earth does not just hold us down. It acts as a kinetic cage, strangling our capacity to expand. Number 4, Archinaut. Since we cannot physically launch the massive structures we need to survive, we are forced to embrace an abyssal workaround. We must assemble them in the dark. Instead of launching a fully built satellite from Earth, you send up raw materials and a 3D printer equipped with robotic arms. Once in orbit, the machine extrudes and builds massive structures like sprawling 30-foot solar arrays directly into the vacuum. These structures are incredibly frail. If you tried to build one of these arrays on Earth, our gravity would instantly snap it in half. But out there, floating in the silent, zero-gravity void, they can stretch for miles. We are engineering vital infrastructure that is fundamentally incompatible with the planet we live on. We are building the architecture of our future, and it is a future where Earth's physical laws are no longer invited. Number 3, the threat of ebilism. Consider the horrifying contrast of our new industrial zone. Inside the pressurized hull of an orbital station, our biofabrication machines are carefully extruding warm, delicate 98.6 degree Fahrenheit human tissue. We are meticulously manufacturing the wet, fragile machinery of life. But just inches away, separated only by a thin sheet of aerospace-grade aluminum, lies an environment that is mathematically guaranteed to devour us. The abyssal void of space operates at exactly 0 atmospheric pressure. To the human mind, a vacuum simply implies a lack of air. But physics is far more merciless. According to NASA's bioastronautics data on vacuum exposure, if that factory wall breaches, you do not simply suffocate. You experience a catastrophic biological failure known as ebilism. Atmospheric pressure dictates the boiling point of liquids. Down on Earth, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. But at 0 pressure, the boiling point drastically plummets, dropping well below your own basal body temperature. The moment the cabin depressurizes, the saliva on your tongue, the tears in your eyes, and the fluid in your lungs will instantly begin to boil. Your own body heat becomes the engine of your destruction. You are essentially vaporizing from the inside out. Without atmospheric pressure to force oxygen into your tissues, the vacuum actively rips the existing oxygen out of your bloodstream. Your brain is immediately starved of fuel. Total unconsciousness occurs in exactly 15 seconds. We are cultivating the future of human biology inside a sterile, indifferent emptiness that will instantly tear us apart the second we make a mistake. Number 2, the metastable dilemma. Evolution has trapped us in an inescapable biological paradox. Earth is now too heavy, too chaotic, and too contaminated to cure our deepest diseases or build our most advanced technologies. To progress, we must leave. Yet, the only place mathematically capable of manufacturing our salvation is an environment that fundamentally rejects our existence. We are caught in a metastable trap. In physics, a metastable state is a deadly illusion. It is a system that appears perfectly stable on the surface, but rests on a razor's edge. It requires only the slightest perturbation to trigger a sudden, catastrophic collapse. That is exactly what our orbital factories are. Tiny, fragile bubbles of false security floating in an abyssal execution chamber. We are a species so desperate to fix our failing organs that we send them 250 miles above the Earth, placing them in the cold, indifferent grip of microgravity. But we cannot step outside to build these facilities. We cannot breathe the air of our new industrial park. We are outsourcing our survival to machines operating in a sterile void. And if the factory wall breaches, if a single micrometeoroid the size of a grain of sand, traveling at 17,000 miles per hour, punctures that metastable bubble, the physics of your destruction are mathematically absolute. The fastest nerve impulse your body can transmit travels at roughly 120 meters per second. But a catastrophic structural failure propagates through an aerospace aluminum hull at over 5,000 meters per second. The subsequent explosive decompression rips the breathable atmosphere out of the cabin instantly. The pressure drops to 0. Your fluids boil. Your cellular structure crumbles. And it all happens faster than your neural pathways can physically process the event. The physical structure of your brain is violently destroyed before the electrical impulse of pain can even reach your conscious mind. You are erased before you know you are dying. We are chained to a defective planet that corrupts our biology, trying to build a bridge to a merciless vacuum that will instantly devour us if we take a single unprotected step. Number 1, the alien adaptation. For thousands of years, we looked up at the night sky and believed it was our destiny to conquer the stars. We were wrong. When you measure the 13.8 billion year age of the universe against the absolute brevity of human history, we are not pioneers. We are a momentary biological glitch. Every step we take into the abyss proves that our physical forms are fundamentally incompatible with reality. Our DNA is unzipped by cosmic radiation. Our vascular tissue is crushed by our own planet's gravity, yet it boils instantly in the vacuum of space. We are a fragile, primordial mistake, clinging to a localized weather condition on a single grain of sand. To survive the inevitable decay of our world, we are building abyssal factories. We are 3D printing new organs, synthesizing pure proteins, and constructing robotic scaffolds in the sterile, indifferent grip of microgravity. We tell ourselves that we are simply upgrading the human machine, but the universe does not care about our survival. Mathematics does not care about our fear. If we replace our blood, our tissue, and our genetic code with materials designed to withstand the cold, irradiated vacuum, we are no longer preserving humanity. We are systematically deleting the very biology that makes us human. We are outsourcing our evolution to a dead zone. We look to the stars to build factories for our survival. But the chilling truth is, we are no longer manufacturing parts for humans. We are manufacturing the replacement parts for whatever alien species the void requires us to become. Thank you for watching and sticking till the end. We've got plenty more videos coming in the future. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss them. See you in the next one.